Morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. Sorry, I'm looking at my son because he just started playing music in my background because I love him and I'm sending him love looks. Okay. I'm going to continue on recording. I am so tired today. I won't lie, like so exhausted. And I want to share with you today, even though I really don't want to, but I'm going to, because part of it is emotional intelligence. I'm reading this book, Permission to Feel, and I finished it, and it was a great book. But why is it that we don't talk about our feelings? Well, because if we talk about them, that means we actually have to go there and unpack them. And as I was reading this, the book has this chart about our emotions, and this is what the chart looks like, my friends. So I take this book and I take it to Staples, and I'm like, okay, I need to have 5 of these emotional chart, these mood meters. I need 5 of them printed, please. And I need them laminated. And so the lady at Staples looks at me, she goes, oh, are you a teacher? And I'm like, no, not a teacher. And she's like, oh, are you a mom of young kids? And I start laughing. I'm like, no, I wouldn't say my kids are really young. She goes, oh, how old are your kids? So now remember, I've asked her to make 5 copies and laminate them, one for everybody in my house. And so she's like, well, how old are they? And I'm like, oh, well, turning 18, turning 16, and 12. And she starts laughing hysterically at me. And I'm like, oh, this isn't a joke, ma'am. Like, I am truly giving everybody in my house one of these mood meters. And I only say this is because when I grew up in my household as a kid, we were not given permission to feel. And it was very much sweep everything under the rugs and don't talk about your feelings. And, suck it up, buttercup, hush, hush, And as I was reading the book, I'm like, oh my goodness, shame on me, because I have actually not taught my kids how to label their emotions. It's always been like, oh, I'm fine, good, happy, sad, angry, and that's it. And so when I brought this wonderful mood meter chart home, and I was like going to my 18-year-old, and I was like, can you tell me how you're feeling today? And she like, I got a glare. And it was super funny. I'm like, no. And she kind of thought it was a joke, but part of me was like, I have not done a really good job teaching you guys how to express your feelings and to really go down deeper and figure out what's going on, right? And then, of course, when you can label your feeling, you got to take your 5 seconds, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, label your feeling, and then kind of work through the ruler system, which is now on the other side of my mood meter chart. So, funny thing about this is not only am I expecting my kids to kind of use this and get better at this, is I need to use it just as much. And so does my husband. So we were sitting at the table and we were trying to, talk about our feelings, which, I'll be open, is not an easy thing to do. And so I all of a sudden started saying what I was feeling based off of this chart. So putting it into practice, you guys, putting it into practice. And so my husband sitting across from me, I tell him what I'm feeling. I give him 3 different words from this list, and they weren't fine, good, happy. They were my feelings. And he kind of like tilted his head and leaned in, and he's like, you're really feeling that? And right away, I was like, you have not given me permission to feel this. And how easily do we actually do that to our kids, to other people? We don't give them permission to feel. Think about it. How many times when our kids were little and they're having a meltdown and they come to us and we're like, okay, enough, like gather your stuff. We're not putting them on our laps and trying to discover what's behind the emotion. And this is where I need to do better for myself, for my kids, for even other people. And so, as funny as it is that we all have this mood meter chart, it is, I was having a meeting with a gentleman the other day and he's like, can you send me that, Amy? Like, that's really good. But it's true. I want you guys to put thought to, are you guys really labeling your feelings? Or are you just kind of saying surface level, good, bad, fine? Or are you actually going there and saying, hey, you know what? I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I'm drained and spent. So that is me. I'm over here in this, not high energy because I'm tired today, and kind of like blah. And that's okay, because I'm giving myself permission to feel that today. And I want you guys to have permission to feel how you're feeling too. So look into it. It's a great book, Permission to Feel, you guys. I hope you found this a little bit funny that, I printed off and laminated these wonderful mood meter charts for my family, being they're all teenagers. But practice what you preach. If you're going to live it out. Learn. We're always learning and growing. And that is the best part about life, people. You don't ever stop learning and growing. And there's nothing wrong with me saying that I've screwed up or that I've done things wrong and that I need to course correct and retrain and unlearn something, because that's showing the kids that we're human, and that gives grace. So I leave you with that today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.